Hi guys, Ian here. Kumusta kayo? Uh, First of all, uh, pardon my voice kasi I'm recording this in the middle of the night, in the wee hours of the morning. So everyone else is asleep or trying to sleep. So talagang I have to tone down my voice. Again, kumusta kayo? It's been a few days now, a few weeks now since this enhanced community quarantine. Now, let me share to you one last video before I go dark this coming Holy Week. If you notice, one of the images that I have, religious images I have, are covered up since, well, I'll explain it later why it's already covered up. But we normally hear the term Great Lent in our Eastern Christian brethren on both sides of the unfortunate 1054 schism. But for us Western Christians, I guess it's just appropriate, given the current situation the world is into at this point, to consider this 40-ish day of 40-ish day observance, rather, and quarantine as the Great Lent of 2020. Now, in one of Los Angeles Auxiliary Bishop Robert Barron's remarks in his regular online show Word on Fire, with a link to the specific video in the description below, he shared his thoughts on the importance and opportunity this quarantine period has in enriching our spirituality, or at least realigning our focuses and reshaping our lives, an opportunity of love, as His Excellency calls it. However, what seems to be my takeaway was the statement made by Brandon Vogt, the show's main presenter, co-host si Bishop Baron sa show na yun, since he has his episcopal duties, when he read a commentary from one of his friends on Instagram, which reads like this: I'm pretty excited for the biographies that are going to be written decades from now that are going to say Saint X was lukewarm in the practice of his or her faith until the Great Lent of 2020, when much of the world was deprived of the sacraments for weeks on end. The hunger that he or she felt during that desert season drove him or her into a deep love of Jesus in the Eucharist, and when Mass was reopened to the public, he or she became a daily communicant and an unparalleled evangelist, rather. Liturgist. Masyado ako sa pagiging liturgist recently, kaya nasabi ko yun. But anyway, that was a good name to call this period, the Great Lent of 2020. And nobody really wanted to stay home at this time. Kahit ako, I really wanted to be out there for economic and survival reasons. But as we are advised to, we try our best to weather this storm and at the same time have some sort of normalcy retained, or continuity in our daily lives and in our work. As mentioned in my previous videos about the plague, the Chinese coronavirus pandemic, or the 2019 coronavirus disease, or COVID-19, criticisms are very much welcome, as it is a healthy exercise, rather, of democracy and the right to free speech. But too much of it leads to political bickering and insults, as well as counterproductivity. In the first place, we Filipinos are too reactive to emergency situations like this that we fail to prepare and be proactive in our responses. I was also prompted to, if I may go outside the script here, I was also prompted to write this message, not only because I wanted to share a video before Holy Week, but also because the day before this recording, on April Fool's Day of all days, uh, several militant uh, home owners, which here in the Philippines are called kadamay, they have a track record of doing protests and invading subdivisions because they clamor for a home and for free stuff. And gets ko naman yung ano nila, yung mismong plight nila na gusto talaga nila na na matulungan sila ng pamahalaan. However, most people believe that protest was rigged. Kasi una sa lahat, social/physical distancing. It was thrown out of the window in the first place. Pangalawa, ito, kadamay is kadamay, so what do you expect? And number 3, bukod sa dalawang yung sitwasyon na yun, these guys are taking advantage of the situation that nobody's around, and they can freely roam the streets without public backlash of congesting traffic and all that. So basically, it's a bad goal on all 3 counts. Now, if I haven't tackled it, this thought in my previous videos, or if I have to repeat it so to indicate that I mean such, I would like to tell everyone to discern the criticism we're throwing out there and the actions that we make, as everyone is stressed out at this point. We do not want to be a casualty right now. Ayaw nating maging casualty ngayon. Ayoko mag-real talk, but that's the fact. By now, we are aware of what will happen to us if ever we contact the disease. If you're not listening, let me summarize it. You will be isolated with no opportunity to contact your loved ones, which to me is the real context of social distancing. If you survive, well and good, but you would still have to comply with extreme physical distancing, either at home or at a designated facility. But if you die, you'll be cremated, and only then will the frontliners tell your next of kin that you have unfortunately passed away. No backlash or no passive aggressiveness. They just have to tell you that kinalulungkot po namin, patay na po si so and so. Now, while some will accept this lonely death as an opportunity to die in the state of grace, many of us, including myself, cannot help but shudder in fear. In fact, as of writing this script, I cannot help but shudder in fear. And after I've written the script, it just hit me na if I ever tried to even get out there, God knows what would happen next. But that's the thing. That's the opportunity this Lent and this quarantine is presenting us. And we still have a few more days to get this sorted out. Well, many have already made some certain suggestions on how to have some kind of normalcy in our Christian life. But if I have another small suggestion, especially now that we're approaching Holy Week, and we are now in the sub-season of Lent called Passiontide. That's basically the period where all sacred images are covered up, such as the one that you're seeing right now. It's just proper that we minimize our media presence to the bare minimum, that is, participating in online masses, divine offices, recitations of the Holy Rosary and Novenas, reading, watching, and listening to sermons and reflections, uh, reading the Bible or any book you get your hands on, recite the Passion, since it's already Holy Week next week, and may nakita nga akong gimmick ng isang local government unit na pinagbasa nila yung mga nag-violate sa curfew. There was even an LGU who forced violators to go on a procession, and so that you would still get in touch with reality, monitoring legitimate news sources on radio, TV, and the internet. Legitimate is a big word. I have to stress that. And the small contribution I can share to you is that you take it up a notch. If you have a missal, read the lessons and pray the collect of the day. If you have a breviary, pray the divine office. If you have both, it's a lot better, as you can insert the lessons in between the psalms, then pray the collect of the day. If you have more time to kill, I would just have to rehash what other people say, such as read the Bible some more, read any spiritual work, do some chores, exercise, or get some rest, maybe sleep, sit in silence, or just do nothing. This is the opportunity for all of us to redefine who we are and what we can do once this quarantine and lockdown is over, and once the plague is no more. We might never have this extraordinary opportunity to experience what I can conclude as a Great Lent ever again in our lifetime. So I highly call on everyone to take this opportunity while we are away from the mundane situational routines of our lives, and please do not use TikTok at all. And before I go, I would like to thank everyone who are doing their best to keep this plague at bay, and those who keep everyone sane. I cannot be specific on who these frontliners are, but you know who you are. Kilala niyo kung sino kayo. Mataas ang respeto ko po sa inyo, sa inyong lahat. Once we go back to normal, we who stayed at home for you, to ease your work, owe you all at least a beer. I mean it. As for all of us who are at home, keep supporting our frontliners in whatever you can do best. After all, we are the home front. And this is my bit. My buddies are out there. Doing the night watch. Some of them are taking to watch during the day, but that's a bit easier. So here I am. I just have to even sympathize, pero if they're out there taking the night out, patrolling the streets, I'm here for them just in case something goes ham, if ever I hear it on mainstream media or in the internet. So todo pa rin ang support ako sa mga kasamahan ko while I'm technically naka-Bartolina. So yun. And we don't do this because our governments ordered it so. But even if they do, we do it, we do our bit because we have to, in military parlance, watch each other 6. 6 o'clock is basically yung likuran mo, with 12 o'clock as your front, 9 in your left, 3 in your right. So, as I said, we have to do our bit because we have to watch each other 6. Sino pa ba ang magtutulong-tulong kung hindi tayo rin? Diba? So, we will weather this storm, mga kababayan. If everyone does their bit, we will flat the curve together. And that's about it for me. I will not be uploading anything for the rest of the week as well as for Holy Week, unless, of course, it is very, very important for me to talk about. So unless that happens, I wouldn't be uploading any other video. And this will be the last for now. So with all that said, this is Ian reminding you that at all times, be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Until then, see you in Easter. Bye, guys. Okay, and one last thing. Stay at home, wash your hands, try to be safe and sane as of the moment, and remember who must pay for all of this. Okay? Ian out.